Do you always feel like when it's your time to speak and you start speaking that all of the other people around you are shifting away their body language, they are jittering their eye contact around the room like this, and they don't seem like they pay attention to you? And you have also tried following all the common advice out there, like be yourself, try to be interested in others, but none of it seems to be working. Well, don't worry, because 4 years ago I was at the exact same position as you are in right now. But after 4 years of studying charisma and communication skills, I have finally figured out a way how I fix this problem for not even myself, but also for the client I'm working with right now. That's why in today's video I'm gonna show you a step-by-step framework so your friends will think of you as a professional keynote speaker. First of all, we need to understand that this problem happens in every single human being that is on this planet. Introverts have this problem and also extroverts. Introverts have this problem because they are unable to communicate clearly because they want other people to like them. And extroverts have this problem because they love talking forever. And trust me, I know, because I was both introvert and extrovert, and I was trying to please other people, and then I'm now an extrovert, and now I'm trying to ramble. That's why the way how we prevent rambling is that we need to focus on one simple framework. Before I show you the framework, first you need to know the mindset behind this, because if you will not know the mindset, then you will not be able to use this framework properly. If we are speaking about something, the best mindset that I can give to you is that simplicity triumphs complexity, and every single time. Have you ever been on a meeting, or have you ever been speaking to a person and they start using these very intellectual words, these words that you were not even able to understand, and if they said those words you were like, what does that even mean, bro? And if your audience is thinking like this whenever you try to speak, that's when they will get turned off immediately. That's why simplicity always triumphs complexity in every single scenario. Because I can give you a simple analogy so you can understand this better. If someone were to ask you, hey Martin, can you tell me what time it is? You will say, oh yeah, it's 7:30. But what most people will do is that they will say, yeah dude, I was also thinking what time it was yesterday, and I was in my manager's office, and then my manager came up and started yelling at me, but then yeah, let me look at the clock, yes, I have it right here, yeah, it's 7:30. See, he was rambling, but the other person just wanted to know what time it actually is. That's why simplicity always triumphs complexity, because it is easier to understand. You are not displaying intelligence, you are not displaying some sort of intellectual prowess if you are talking in these very intellectual words that nobody will be able to understand. You are just turning off your listeners immediately, and that's why they will start jittering their eye contact, that's why they will cross their arms, and that's when they will start putting their body language away from you, because you are using way too complex words for your audience to understand. And the best mindset I can give to you is, imagine yourself if you were talking to a child, because whenever you see some professional on stage talking, they're always like, in today's lesson we'll be talking about the most important lessons. But what if I now gave you the mindset, talk to your audience if they were 5 years old. Hello guys, in today's video I will show you the 5 most important lessons how can you improve your communication. See, it is a much more different energy, it's not so professional, it's just honest, and it's much more energetic, because we don't want to be this professional articulative person who knows all the words in the human dictionary, because that's when we will confuse people. We just want to be that person who will talk in a so simple manner that everyone, even the kids in the 3rd grade, would be able to understand him. That's the mindset. Simplicity always triumphs complexity. But now that we have covered how most people speak, it's time for the framework. And the framework is called PREP, the PREP framework. The PREP framework stands for point, reasoning, example, and finally point again. What most meetings and most presentations will look like is that one person will say, hey guys, nice to meet you, today we'll be talking about this presentation right here, and before this will happen I have to tell you about this, and they are going off topic millions of times in just that simple presentations. But PREP framework will prevent you from going off topic. Let me show you how this will look like. Let's say my point is that I'm making a presentation why we should have meetings on Fridays because Mondays were shit. It will look something like this. My point would be, in today's presentation, I'm gonna explain why we should have meetings on Mondays and not on Mondays. Now I'll move to reason. The reason why we need to have our meetings on Fridays is that if you look at this chart right here, we can see that on Mondays, our show up rate is 50% lower and nobody comes to our meetings. And now I'll move to example. I remember last Monday, I was just sitting in this exact room and all of the other people that I've met before in this office were not sitting here. I was just sitting in this room with just 5 people. And now I will also end on the final point. And that's why I believe that we should have meetings on Fridays. See how simple and concise it was? We are here because we need to have meetings on Fridays. Reason was because on Mondays we have a worse show up rate. Example, I was here last week and there were just 5 people with me in the entire room. And then finally we end on another final point that we said at the beginning. And that's why we should have our meetings on Monday. And by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Martin and I have been studying charisma and communication skills for 3 years straight. And as the first link in the description, it is my private coaching. So if you want to work with me so I can teach you the most brilliant strategies how you can master communication, then that is the first link in the description. I will see you there. And if you want to learn charisma tactics that will make people love you almost immediately, then you should click this video right here. Live a happy life.